Hello, welcome. My name is Megan and I'm the owner of Paint and Sip VT. Today we're going to be painting a Kangen bag together. Be sure to check out the description below with a full list of supplies and instructions to get started on today's project. One of the first things that we're going to do is grab a pencil and you're going to sketch a basic outline of the design background to the bag before you get going. Once you have that sketched down, you can then mix your background paint colors to start painting the basic backgrounds for your picture today. You want to be careful to make sure you think about where you want to paint, staying within the lines. As you can see in the video, I am painting very carefully above the bottom rim of the bag, and I'm painting carefully on the sides of the bags around those tabs. And I'm really focused on the horizon line for this inspiration, figuring out where I want to put color and placement, and making that horizon line equal on the left and the right sides of the bags. Now in today's painting on our bag, we're using acrylic paint and we're using a textile medium. So what I suggest is as you mix your paint color, get your color right first and then go ahead and add in that textile medium. So it's a certain amount, equal parts to the acrylic paint and to the textile medium. As you can see in the video, I am being really careful around going all the edges so it looks nice and clean. You may need to mix more paint as you go along, but for this next step, I'm actually going to be adding another layer of detail. I'm mixing 2 tones of green to create some faux abstract trees above this horizon line. And I'm being careful, and I'm also being a little playful with adding in some different bushes and some greenery, just to create a little bit of a natural scene. So it's okay to kind of dab back and forth between a couple different colors. It'll actually help bring a little bit of depth and a little bit of more of a natural scape to your picture. So just as you would on a canvas, feel free to experiment a little bit. You can use any size brush that you wish, but I had fun using the same brush, going in and adding in some dark and some lighter green textures. For this next step, I'll be mixing a dark green color to add some pine trees as a second layer behind this faux trees that I just created. So again, I'm mixing my dark green and I'll be adding equal parts of the textile medium to that. And I'm using a small brush and I'm kind of just peppering in a little bit of this darker green color together and being really careful, and I'm using one of the smaller brushes that I have here just to get the detail quite right. And as we paint, we think about how we apply the paint with the tip of the brush, but also the placement and the size of our trees. So I'm being really thoughtful to do some high trees and some low trees, staggering them from left to right and leaving a little space in between. So now that my trees are on, I'm going ahead and I'm painting a yellow sun kind of tucked behind the tab up here on the top, which is quite fun. Now I'm applying a first coat, and I did do a pencil outline of the sun just to kind of get an eye for the design and the style. And the first coat of yellow will kind of hold and stick, but you'll also do a second coat of yellow, which you'll see in just a minute that stands out pretty quickly. So I did a fun abstract sun in the sky. Now the next layer that I'm going to be painting is I'm doing mushrooms on top of this forest scene. And I'm using a pencil to place the mushrooms high and low. Some are taller, some are smaller. So outlining with a pencil is a really important thing. And then you're going to mix the paints. Now I did let the bag dry in between each layer. It took about 1 to 2 hours to let the paint dry on the bag. But once it dried, it was good to go. Then it would prevent less smudging, and also you don't want to get wet paint anywhere else on the bag that you don't want it. You can also see you can place your hand on the bag once it dries. It's just a little bit easier to let it rest. So I'm using this beige color to fill in the mushroom outlines that I've painted. You can see I'm doing some small mushrooms and some big mushrooms. And I'm just delicately placing them on the front of the bag and on the sides of the bag. And you want to take your time when you're painting on a bag. This is a canvas, right? So it's very similar to painting um, on a regular canvas panel. However, this bag is a little more special, right? So just have some fun, play with the shape of the mushrooms, the bend to the mushroom stem. You can also see I added a little bit of shading on the underside of the mushrooms with just a darker tone of the color, which was a lot of fun. I'm also adding in some flowers, so I added a few flowers and stems. So you can add as much or as little detail here as you wish. I show you how to mix colors. If anyone's interested in a full-length, more detailed video of this painting, of painting this Kanken bag, please let me know. And I will be sure to link where you can purchase these Kanken bags on Amazon. They come in lots of colors. They're incredibly durable. This bag will last you years and years. And the fabric textile medium will also, the paint will not chip off. It's actually machine washable. It's an excellent product. So I encourage you to check out my description below where you can get that paint as well, that medium. But this is where on your bag, I'm just going through and doing some final touches. I'm adding in a few details to the underside of the mushroom, adding in a little bit of shading. And as you can see, I'm just working in one area and rotating the bag around. And I put some brown spots on top of the mushrooms. It was quite fun. So like any piece of art, you want to reflect on your work along the way, and you can let it sit for a day or two, or you can just kind of walk away and get some coffee. I encourage you to be yourself and embrace this piece of art just like anything else that you may have painted. I'm putting a dark line down one side of the mushrooms to create a little bit of depth. And it's good to reflect on your piece from far away. And you may notice something else if you walk away and you come back. But I encourage you to have an array of brushes so you can play with the detail. One additional detail I'm adding now is a little bit of a darker red on top of the lighter red flowers, just to create a little bit of a two-tone depth effect to these small wildflowers that I've added. And I will hold the bag up at the end of the video nice and slow so you can see all these details. But it's fun walking you through all these details on how I'm gently mixing colors, and you don't need a lot of paint to add these details or to add textures. A little goes a long way. I am using Reeves acrylic paints, which is a really high quality paint. And it's okay for your art to evolve along the way, so if you wanted to change a color here or there, you could. And certainly you can pick any design on these bags that you wish, but it's just about having the right tools and a little bit of patience and having an idea to really execute this opportunity. This could be for you or for someone else. And you can do a scene that you can relate to or that you feel like someone may enjoy. And being really careful on where you hold the bag, making sure that your hands are clean, are a really important step. Now, if you have any questions throughout this video, feel free to take a minute to ask. But here you can see a nice close-up of the bag, all of the detail in the background. And once it dries, you can use it. You can take out all the filling and use it every day for so many different things. If you have any questions about today's video, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to answer those for you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to follow new and additional videos that are coming out, also my giveaways. I'll be painting more things, but thank you again for joining.